What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Sports Dép Podcast. It's been a while. We kind of underestimated this Sam going to the Olympics thing. Our producer's been working the Olympics, so he's actually recording this right now.
Yeah,
from Italy. So it's a very.
He'll be tomorrow in the luge as well.
He's not competing in the Olympics.
Oh, okay.
He is working at the Olympics for Radio Canada, the French CBC. And so we're kind of working on Sam's schedule because Sam goes to bed at like 6 p.m. our time, and Simon and I. Yeah, so we're all over the map. So the episodes, as you probably noticed, have been few and far between. But we're going to record as often as possible right through the Olympics. We're going to do this whenever we can. We wish we could give you a little more heads up, but that's all the more reason to subscribe so that every time we do have another episode, you get pinged and you know exactly when we're on. But we're going to do this as much as we possibly can. I feel like if you're watching, like I'm at a normal distance, I feel like you're up close, Simon. I don't know if it's me or anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, now I think we look the same size. Yeah,
my microphone's over here, though.
Yeah, so advanced. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. We'll figure out a way. We always do. Look, I'm excited. I know the women's hockey's already started at the Olympics. I've watched a bunch of that. Italy takes down Japan. Let's go. The women.
What happens when you with the records when those two teams?
Simon, I was just about to say, when Italy and Japan play in women's hockey, you throw those records right out the window. Might be historical. I don't know if those two nations have ever faced off against each other. So it's we're starting from a clean slate. But yes, you could throw the records out. That's one of the real underrated rivalries in women's hockey, Italy-Japan. I think Italy won like 3-2 or something like that. I had the over, so
good.
I didn't have the over, it's been a good time, and obviously Olympic time is exciting. The crown jewel for me, I'm not going to lie to you. There's nothing wrong with luge. There's nothing wrong with skeleton, downhill skiing, cross country skiing. There's nothing wrong with all of that. But the crown jewel is obviously going to be men's hockey, and when Canada and the U.S. Inevitably face off head to head in the women's gold medal game. But I'm just curious, Simon, what has your Olympic intake been, especially now that NFL season is over?
I really enjoyed the opening ceremonies.
Yep.
Sunday morning, I was locked in, of course, like the rest of the nation was, in mixed curling. Canada went down, I think, to Sweden. Gave up, I think the Swedes got 2 points with the hammer.
Is that an upset or
I don't know? Listen, I feel bad. I don't remember the Canadians' names, but they came out of the gate 3-0, and then they kind of, I think they went 0-4 to finish off the round robin play, and then get themselves into that. Joey, man, going back to my youth, thoroughly enjoyed downhill skiing, something that I used to absolutely love. Steve Podborski and Ken Reed, two of the crazy Canucks, and I saw that Ken He's got two sons competing at these Olympics in the downhill skiing as well. Third son almost made it on the Olympic team. That's pretty wild. So I like that. The Lindsey Vaughn was. Oh yeah,
that was terrible.
That was big news. Tuned in, saw that actually play itself out. It was just pretty. Shocking.
You were watching live?
Yeah, I was up early, so I was like, my goodness gracious. So I love it all, man. I love it all. Went to lunch today. Television was on. It's funny, like. A lot of the places that you go to for lunch that have the televisions, even if you walk in there, it's very rarely on TSN or RDS or something. Everybody's locked in on the Olympics. So today, I don't know. I think I caught Italy versus USA in the mixed curlings. The Americans beating the Italians in that. Joey shocking the curling community. And then a little bit of figure skating as well. Didn't know much of the figure skating, but look, man, I love it. Just it's also, I love the time.
Don't your girls figure skate?
No, never. Not one time.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, like, you don't know anything about. I thought they figure skated, don't they? Oh, no, gymnastics. Cheerleading.
Yes, I'm from the Battle of the Bryans.
Okay.
I'm, Elizabeth Manley. That's what I'm talking about. Brian Botano and Brian Orser. Like, that was the battle of the
Elvis
Bryans. Elvis Stoico, for sure, man. Absolutely. Yeah.
So I think you've caught a lot more Olympics than I have. I've watched a lot of Olympics. It's just that it's in the day, and I'm raising a child. I'm helping raise a child, so it's a little bit more difficult. And I try to catch Sam on TV from Italy all the time. I haven't seen him yet on TV, so hopefully he gets some camera time because we give him camera time here. And by the way, I know we talked about this a couple weeks ago since we're talking about curling, but I told you I covered the curling tournament in Montreal. Yes. I got the Facebook memory pop up like 12 or 13 years ago. I was at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts. That's
there you go. It's the granddaddy of them all.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, look, from a Canada hockey standpoint, I was on TSN. You weren't on TSN 690 this weekend. I ended up doing a hit because you weren't on the weekend, and I was talking to our good buddy Peter Vrionis, who was asking me, Nick Suzuki's role, what did you think it would be? And I mentioned the possibility that I thought that he could potentially play wing. I thought that, and then Point and Cirelli got hurt, so I was wondering if they would have him down the middle. I wasn't necessarily expecting them to split up McDavid, McKinnon, and Crosby, but that's exactly what they've done. Imagine that, Simon? You're 1, 2, 3 centers. Sidney Crosby could be your 2 or your 3 center. Is absolutely ridiculous. But so from the looks of it, there was a couple things that surprised me. Everybody talked about how, first of all, if you haven't seen by now, it is Suzuki on the right with McKinnon and Brad Marchand. But which I think is a really good line, obviously. The only thing that surprised me, I was surprised. I don't know how much this is going to stick, Simon, but I wasn't expecting like Celebrini and Wilson to be with McDavid. I think it makes sense on paper. Especially for Wilson, you go out there and you get those guys like the elite players. They always play with a guy like that, right? Like Crosby had Kunitz for the longest time. McDavid plays with Hyman. So those elite guys, they all go out there. They have guys that could dig out the puck. They could be F1, the first forechecker. But just your impression of that being the first line before we move on to Suzuki, and how much do you think this is going to stick? Because they had practice today, and for the first time in Olympic history, they opted. I don't know if you saw this, but Canada opted to have a closed practice, so no media at practice. Then Sweden did the same thing. The Americans were about to do the same thing, and then they changed their mind at the last second. I wonder if the NHL got a hold of them and said, "Hey, listen, guys, like we can't keep doing
NBC this." Said we need footage.
Yeah. So, but Canada and Sweden opted to go closed door practice. And John Cooper, after practice, was reading this in The Athletic. John Cooper said, "Listen, nothing's changed. We roll out the same things, the same lines. Nothing's changed."
I don't think it's as easy as people make it out to be to match line mates with Connor McDavid. If it's guys on the Oilers who practice with him every single day, are on the ice with him every single day, they kind of understand the foot speed and where he plays and where he goes and how he handles the puck. So I don't think it's that easy to just say, throw in this guy, throw in that guy. It's going to work. The guy's a freak. And I think when you come from a certain lineup and you play a certain way and you're introduced to Connor McDavid and you hit the ice together, you're like, well, I've never seen anything move this fast. And then you got to figure it out. I think from what I saw, John Cooper wants to have that one forechecker on every single line. He wants to have that dog on every single line, and Tom Wilson is that. I'm not worried about Tom Wilson. He probably gets a lot of press for the wrong reasons sometimes, but I think we forget that he's a very good skater.
He's a really good player.
Yeah, he's a former first-round pick. He can hover around the 30-goal mark. He can beat up your toughest guy. He can knock people down.
Penalties.
Yeah, he kills penalties at a high level, so you put him out there. And Macklin Celebrini is like, listen, man, kid, just go out there, man. Just figure it out. Don't worry about it. Play offense. Go out there. Just try to ride shotgun with the other guy. You're going to be fine. So, look, again, I don't think it's that easy to just put a line together with Connor McDavid, but I think you wanted to put a presence out there with Tom Wilson. And then with Macklin Celebrini, I'm not going to say the little I've watched on him, but, the San Jose games here and there, the highlights every single night.
Simon, the numbers are insane. I don't know if people realize this, because I do, because in our office fantasy hockey pool, Sam, our producer, actually has Celebrini. I've been trying to get him, so I've been keeping keeping myself abreast of the situation. But Simon, the guy turned 19 years old in June. Okay, he's had 28 goals and 81 points in 55 games. It's absolutely insane. The level at which this kid is playing in.
Yeah, 81 points is, if you would have told me at the beginning of the year, would you take 81 points for Nick Suzuki? I'd be like, yeah, sure, absolutely. Another point a game season, fantastic. Yeah, incredible, Joy. Man, like, for former first pick, first overall, I knew there was a lot of hype, but
it's a leap, Simon. He had 63. He had a really good season last year. He had 25 goals and 63 points in 70 games. He's at 81 points in 55 games.
Absolutely mad, and good on him to find himself on that top line with McDavid. Should be fun. But again, short tournament, Joey. Teams don't have the luxury of continuing to run a line out there if it's not working. So what we saw at practice was simply just that practice. This could be done by the second period of the game versus Czechia.
Yeah, because I remember, all the years that NHLers were there, and Canada's always had stacked teams, right? But remember they I think they moved Corey Perry around. I think Corey Perry started on the first, or Rick Nash started on the first line, and then Rick Nash dropped to the fourth line, the second game of the tournament. I think that was in 2010, if I'm not mistaken. Rick Nash, one of the best goal scorers in the NHL at that time. Boom, you're going to play on the first line. Sorry, it didn't work. Okay, we're going to mix it up. You have such a short amount of time to figure it out, like you said, that I do think that these things are going to move around. And it wouldn't shock me at all if McKinnon ended up playing with Crosby, or, if they put McKinnon and McDavid together at some point, whatever. But
I think just to go off that for a second, I think that's where the Chiarelli and the point hurts. And
look at you saying Chiarelli, probably.
It's homage to the Milano Cortina games. There was a luxury for John Cooper to have that. When you look at your lineup, you gotta fit in 12 forwards. But if you know where you're going to put McDavid, you know where you're going to put but just having those two guys and then just try to fill out that third spot, now you lost two guys that you had penciled in somewhere, and you got to replace those two guys. Now, again, you replace them with quality, excellent hockey players, but that continuity you spoke about that you don't have the luxury of having in these tournaments, he did have that because he had two guys who were, elite hockey players, you want to call them, great penalty killers and all that. And then you go back to the drawing board. So that is a little bit of a setback for Canada.
Yeah, Crosby with the two Golden Knights is interesting to me. Crosby with Marner and Stone is interesting. I'm curious to see how that line is.
Numbers two this year are just ridiculous.
Yeah. And then we said McKinnon, Marchand, and Suzuki. That's an interesting line. I mean, obviously you've got the McKinnon speed and the offensive prowess, but Nick Suzuki's such a smart player. And I mean, Brad Marchand's no slouch either, but Nick Suzuki's such a smart player. He knows, how to set guys up. He's played with a really good goal scorer for a long time. So, I think that he's going to be okay in that role. I don't think this is going to be much of an adjustment for him. I don't know. Again, I don't know if the line sticks, but I'm just curious what you made of Suzuki starting out at right wing.
I like it. When the two Lightning players went down, you thought, here's an opportunity. Do you just slide Suzuki into that third line center, or does he get a promotion? Does he get a little bit higher up in the lineup? And mind you, if you played on the third line, you'd be playing with Sidney Crosby. So I'm not sure if it's promotion or demotion at this point. Joey, I think this team is littered with high hockey IQ guys, but McKinnon, Suzuki, and Brad Marchand, to me, that hockey IQ is off the chart. It's just everybody knowing. Brad Marchand knows exactly which race he's going to win to the puck, when it's time to peel back, when it's time to distribute, when it's time to just get out of the way and Nate do his thing. And the same could be said for Nick Suzuki. Just three guys that will not turn over the puck, not one time, three guys that will not get lost in their own end. That is just what has the makings. And that line is also the line that can go out there with the defensive zone face-off up by a goal with 30 seconds left in the game. So I love that line just from a hockey IQ, and not that there's any dummies here, but just I like the makeup of that line.
Yeah, and I'm curious. I'm just curious to see. One of the things I'd like to see. One of the things I was looking out for here for practice today that we're obviously not going to get is how much involvement will he have on special teams? I don't think this is a guy. I don't think Suzuki's going to play power play one, but he could. I think there's just so many weapons here. But from the right circle, Suzuki has that lethal shot. I wonder if they wouldn't put him there on a second power play unit. But again, this team is littered with incredible players. And from a penalty killing standpoint, you know what I mean? I know you're playing Suzuki on the wing at 5-on-5, but do you want to have Horvat play, as one of your penalty killers? I would imagine, and then you maybe have Suzuki play down the middle. He's one of your centermen on the penalty kill as well. So I'm curious to see, for me, just how much special teams Nick Suzuki's going to get. Again, there's a ton of options here. They have 10 guys that can play power play eyes closed, and he doesn't have to be one of them. But I do think that he brings an element there. I think he's got good vision. He can let that shot go from that spot that he so famously scores from a lot. And so I'm curious to see from a special team standpoint. That's what I'm going to be looking for, is how much is he going to get.
Yeah, I'm skewed a little bit more to seeing him on the penalty kill. I no matter how many
you would think so.
You have so many talented players. You're absolutely right about that. But I just got to see there's going to be a world of McKinnon, Makar, Crosby, McDavid, and highly likely Celebrini. Mitch Marner is ahead of Nick Suzuki when it comes to, I think, creating on the power play, or at least he fits a little bit more a little bit more of what they were doing at Four Nations. So I think Nick Suzuki is going to have a role on this team, and I think he's going to be one of the 4 penalty killing forwards, first or second unit. I don't know. They'll probably both get a minute. But I just think it's a little too congested when it comes to offense. And again, if I'm John Cooper, the guys that I rattled off, the first 5 guys, I'm sending them out there for over a minute. Now, after that, what do you want to go with? You want to go with a physical presence like Tom Wilson in front of the net. You want to go Mark Stone, who's on pace for a ridiculous season 2. So his offensive numbers are fantastic as well. So he's got options, but I just see Nick Suzuki making a little bit more of a living here on the penalty kill.
Tsalikis, nice to see you. We'll see how this all plays out. Canada gets going on Thursday, I believe it is. Against
Thursday, 10
Czechia.
40 or something
Czechia,
like that.
Correct? Is that where we're starting?
Czechia. They go back on Friday versus the Swiss at around 3:10, I believe.
Yeah. So Canada and the Olympic action is getting hot and heavy. I'm the line. There's a lot of great lines, Tsalikis. The line that I'm most looking forward to seeing out there together in the whole tournament, like of any team. Do you know what that is? It's not going to be shocking to you. I'm looking forward to Jack Eichel and the Kachucks. I want to see what that looks like.
I thought you were going to rattle off like 3 dudes from like St. Leonard who were playing for Italy. That's what I thought you were going to do. That's what
they have to be from St. Leonard.
I'm just playing the stereotypes, Joey.
Valdebreeze, Simon Valdebreeze is much more where it's at right now.
That's it. Welcome.
Tsalikis, be good. Enjoy the Olympics. Sam, get back to your Italian time zone. We appreciate this, folks. Again, the episodes have been fewer and further between. We understand that. Sam is covering the Olympics. He's working the Olympics for Radio Canada. And so we're just trying to record anytime we can. So subscribe, like. You can find the audio version of these podcasts on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. So have a great rest of your day, everybody. Enjoy the Olympics. We'll be back. We'll be back to preview, recap Canada games as well. We're just trying to find the slot for Sam to record. I know it's not ideal, but we're going to make it work because Sam is the superstar of this podcast and we follow his lead. So Sam is Connor McDavid. You could be Tom Wilson, you brute, and I could be Celebrini. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. We'll be back on the Sports Dép Podcast in the next couple of days.